Welcome to Gosh Acki Nacki special event. Today we're going to unveil a groundbreaking blockchain architecture. But before we do that, I would like to thank the amazing Gosh team for doing an impossible. Thank you very much. I would also like to thank our supporters and investors, without whom that would not be possible. In 2009, Satoshi Nakamoto mined first Bitcoin block and started the decentralized financial revolution. He brought finance back to the individual hand. 5 years later, this guy, Vitalik Buterin, at a Miami Bitcoin conference, said that he wants something more from this financial network. He wants to run some kind of applications on top of this network. And to run these applications, he needs an execution environment, a computer that could be decentralized. So he said, Bitcoin is not enough for that. We need something else. We need something more powerful. We need a Turing-complete virtual machine. We need something we can run any kind of program on top. And he called that world computer. What kind of applications he thought he would run on this world computer? Well, he actually gave a list. So he said some financial applications may run on that, like some financial smart contracts or insurance or maybe decentralized prediction markets. But he also said there could run non-financial applications. It could run storage, decentralized storage. It could run decentralized social networks. 2 years ago, Vitalik Buterin gave an interview, and he said, and I quote, "I still believe Ethereum could be the world computer." So apparently, it isn't. And it seems that we kind of abandoned that vision to create the world computer. This guy didn't. 2 weeks ago, Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, pronounced on Ignite stage that Microsoft Azure Cloud is a world computer. And if you think about that, he's kind of right. Because there are millions of people, actually billions of people, who are using his world computer. It's not decentralized. It is very, very much centralized. But why it happened? Why we, who coined the term world computer, couldn't build one? Well, let's examine what is running on our world computer, on the blockchain today. 90%, and we're being large here, of all the applications run on all blockchains today are financial applications. Only a tiny piece, less than 9% actually, is non-financial applications. Most of that is thanks to the Filecoin and other storage solutions. So why so many years passed and we couldn't build more applications which are not financial? Well, let's talk about that. Some people said it's because of seed phrase. Some people said that these 12 words that you need to create the wallet on the blockchain, it's actually what stops most of the people to use it. We actually don't believe in that. We don't believe in that. Because why it doesn't stop them from using the other financial applications? And also, there are many tools now to manage the seed phrase. There are hardware wallets, there is a wallet abstraction, and so on. It seems that's not the reason. Let's examine what we would do. Let's say we build some kind of a social network. Let's say, like Instagram, decentralized, okay? Well, you want to upload the photo to this decentralized Instagram, and you hit the button, like post. What would happen if you do that on the blockchain? Well, first thing, you would need to pay. You would need to pay. For every post you do on this decentralized network, you would need to pay. But that's not all. So you paid. And then you wait. You wait, and wait, and wait. The picture doesn't appear immediately because blockchains are slow. They're painfully slow. Over the last years, many guys like in our industry recognized that problem and they tried to solve it. How they solved it? Well, there was like Ethereum that said layer 2s. We do a layer 2s. That's our scalability solution. They're cheaper. They can run more transactions. Then Solana came. Solana said, oh, we will do very fast. We will do like immediate 250 milliseconds block time, something like that, and 65,000 transactions per second. Then there is a Ton. Ton achieved 100,000 transactions. Then there is Aptos with 150,000 transactions. But there is one thing that they all have in common, which we believe is the real reason why nobody uses non-financial applications. And that's this thing. You see, our research says that people are ready to pay per transaction only when they transact with finance. If they move the value, if they move the money, they're ready to pay some portion of that. If they invest into something, they're ready to pay a fee. But they're not ready to pay anything per transaction on a non-financial application. They want to post a picture on Instagram. I'm not ready to pay for it. So what kind of thing we need to do to eliminate the gas altogether? If you think about today's blockchain architecture, it's actually look like that. It's an 8086 processor, ancient Intel processor, one-threaded. So when we're trying to build the financial applications, that's fine, it works there. But when we are trying to build something more modern, something that people want to use, right, non-financial applications like social media, that's not enough. It just cannot run it. In a way, we are finding ourselves exactly in the situation where this guy found himself. Steve Jobs tried to build a personal computer with this amazing interface. He knew exactly what kind of interface needed for personal computer to be used by many. And he tried it 3 times. Lisa, Macintosh, then the next computer. On next computer, he said, I know exactly, we built this amazing operating system that people will be thrilled to use. And what computer we're going to run on? Well, there is no such computer, so I build one. So he built one. He built the next computer. Nobody bought it. Nobody bought it. $8,000 was too expensive. Nobody could buy it. So he waited additional time for when the industry was ready to give him that. And that is what we need. We need a processor that can run simultaneously, multi-core, multi-threaded applications. And we need it to be decentralized. We need something like that. You see these guys there? That's what we have today. That's what we need to build. Can we do it? Well, first of all, let's talk what we need to do. So I think there are 4 parameters that we need to have. The fast block production, so that people don't wait too much. Then we need a massive amount of parallelization. We need millions of parallel executions because we need all of these people not to wait. Then we need a sharded state because the more people use it, the shard will become larger and larger, basically the storage. We need a lot of storage, and we need to be able to shard it like Microsoft Azure databases sharding it. And then, of course, we need the high security, right, because we're a blockchain. So you see, many tried, and some of them achieved some of that. Some portions of that, someone did great security, like Bitcoin, then Ethereum with this new sharded architecture, and then Ton with parallel execution, Solana with the fast block production. But no one quite got it to do it all in one, because we need one processor like that. And today, we will show you that processor. So let's say it's a game. And actually, it's a horror game, as you might guess. This horror game actually has parameters. So let's talk first what it can do. The block time, block production, is 330 milliseconds. Is massively parallelized. It's almost infinitely parallelized. You can run as many block producers as you want. The finality is less than 1 second, and the security is orders of magnitude more than that of a Bitcoin. And it also has very interesting property. It's actually self-adjusted. It reacts to the parameters of the network and adjusts its properties to match the security guarantees. All the network participants agree periodically on the security level that they want to achieve. And depends on the parameters of the network, for example, how many participants are there, the network itself will change its own parameters. No programmers needed. It does it by itself. It's self-adjusting. So let me introduce you to its actors, like who is participating in this game. I will actually try to explain you how it works. Don't be frightened. I don't think you need to be a computer scientist to understand. It's that easy. It's very elegant. So first of all, block producer. Well, this guy apparently produces blocks. And that's all he does. He produces blocks very fast, very, very fast. Sometimes, maybe, this guy wants to attack the network and to produce malicious block. So he inserts some kind of transaction that, for example, wire all the money in all the network to his wallet, let's say. And he produced that block. Okay, so we call it malicious block producer. Then there is a block keeper. The block keeper is the guy who receives the blocks, and it doesn't care. Block malicious, non-malicious, just receive the block. When he receives the block, he sends an attestation that I received the block and send it to the network. That's all he does, except for one tiny thing, one small thing. He also rolls the dice. It's a very special kind of dice. It's actually even not rolled once, but we will talk about it later. So he rolls the dice. What happens when he rolls the dice? Sometimes this dice will fall, and he will need to turn into this amazing creature. And it's actually a she, we believe. Acki Nacki. Acki Nacki is a girl who will check the block. She's actually going to verify the block. And if the block is not malicious, she'll set an ACK, acknowledgement, we call it in computer science, to the network. And if the block is wrong, malicious, she will set a NACK, not acknowledged, denied, certificate. What happens if she's saying the block is bad? Well, it's a horror. It's really horror. Because all the network turns on the malicious block producer, slash him completely, take all his money, burn it, it's important, not take it, burn it, and kick him out of the network. And that's it. That's it. It's that easy. It's super easy, super elegant. It's amazing, actually. What is the proper, why did we do that? What it achieves? Well, it's actually the network which is optimized for optimism. It's a very optimistic network. In fact, it's a very, very good game. Because what happens when nothing wrong happens? I'll tell you, okay? So let's repeat it. The block producer produced the block. The block keepers just receive the block, send an attestation that they received the block. Some of them, like all of them, rolls the dice. Some of them will become Acki Nacki. Check the block. It's okay. Send the NACK. That's it. Send the ACK. That's it. It's just 3 steps. That's why it's so fast. That's why it can achieve massive parallelization. So, but how secure is it? Well, that's what happens if, and it's a big if, we will talk about it today, if someone, block producer, some of the block producer, try to produce malicious block? Well, it goes to the rolling the dice, Acki Nacki check the block, it's a malicious block. Then the network stops. It kind of slows down to mitigate the attack until it resolves itself and continues. And you say, okay, so but that's slow then. Well, it actually never happens. We claim it will never happen. Never. But before we go there, let us see why actually we build it, what it gives us. So the last questions remain is, that's all nice, that's all beautiful, but how secure it is? We said it's all secure. So we compared that with Bitcoin, but that was too easy. We ran the calculations of the probability of the attack on the Bitcoin network against Acki Nacki network, and it was like we were orders of magnitude more secure than Bitcoin. So we said we need to find something else, something more interesting, something like the probability which is much lower than the attack on the Bitcoin, what it could be. So we said, well, how about the end of the world? How about the probability of the end of human race? Because that's the most probable effect of it's the most probable outcome of the human race, right? So we ran comparison with the probability of a comet hitting the Earth with catastrophic consequences against the probability of breaking Acki Nacki consensus. And to tell you more about this, I would like to invite Andrew to say a few words. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mitya. So, as Mitya already described a few points how our algorithm works and what we decided to do to ensure security. Comment. In this case, for security, we decided to choose two algorithms. One is to ensure that at least one Acki Nacki will be for at least one Acki Nacki will be for each block produced. And the second algorithm will ensure that no producer would ever know if there would be some other Acki Nacki. And for one, to actually like try to calculate who will be the next one, whatever, it will take infinite amount of time. This is based on the like trying to order a deck of cards and make sure that the next card will be something for each particular block, and block producer will not have that knowledge. He will just show, okay, this is the card, and whoever in the block keepers has this card, please check that, become Acki Nacki, and ensure that this block is correct. The second algorithm, pretty much the same. Each block keeper rolls a dice and checks if he will need to become an Acki Nacki for this round. Two of these algorithms ensure that, first, security, and second, security. Just multiply this, and you will have this probability. And the second question you may ask, what will happen if some attacker decides to, okay, let's try to DDoS all of the valid or honest block keepers and produce a malicious block? Well, this is the third part, where each block has to be signed. And unless you have this threshold, you will not be able to produce the block, or this block will not be accepted. So if honest block keeper is DDoSed, he will not be able to sign this block. And if he is available, well, he might become Acki Nacki. So roll the dice, and if you can win against us, then you pretty much can win against the end of the world. Okay, thank you. And yeah.
We're going to release a white paper with all these calculations. That is actually the probability. The Bitcoin is 1. It's actually already like gone by that time. So this is the probability of a comet hitting the Earth with the catastrophic consequences. Of course, not every comet. This is the probability of the attack of the Acki Nacki. So again, you will be able to check if our calculations are correct. But at the moment, we are quite certain that nobody in a right mind will ever try to produce malicious block, because your probability of winning is this.